गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Vishakha Jaya Radhesham, Lalita Vishakha Jaya Radhesham. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 Karma Yoga, text number 22. न मे पार्थास्ति kartavyam त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चना nānavāptam avāptavyam varta eva ca karmaṇi न मे pārthāsti kartavyam triṣu lokeṣu kiñcana nānavāptam avāptavyam varta eva ca karmaṇi न मे pārthāsti kartavyam triṣu lokeṣu kiñcana nānavāptam avāptavyam varta eva ca karmaṇi न मे pārthāsti kartavyam triṣu lokeṣu kiñcana avāptavyam varta eva ca karmaṇi न मे pārthāsti kartavyam triṣu lokeṣu kiñcana avāptavyam eva ca karmaṇi
न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यम् त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तव्यम् अवाप्तव्यम् वर्त एव च कर्माणि
न मे pārthāsti kartavyam त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चना avāptavyam varta eva ca karmaṇi. Thank you. Word by word meaning. Na, not. Me, mine. Partha, O son of Pṛthā. Asti, there is. Kartavyam, prescribed duty. triṣu, in the three, lokeṣu, planetary systems, kiñcana, any, nothing, anavāptam, wanted, avāptavyam, to be gained, varte, I am engaged, eva, certainly, cha, also, karmaṇi, in prescribed duty. O son of Pṛthā, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Please repeat. O son of Pṛthā, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is described in the Vedic literatures as follows. Tam īśvarāṇāṁ paramaṁ maheśvaraṁ, tam devtānāṁ paramam ca daivatam, patim patīnāṁ paramam parastād, vidāma devam bhuvatneshamidyam, natasya karyam karanam ca vidyate, natat samascabhyadikascha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividhaiva śrūyate, svabhavaki gnana bala kriya cha. The Supreme Lord is the controller of all other controllers, and He is the greatest of all the diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under His control. All entities are delegated with particular power only by the Supreme Lord. They are not supreme themselves. He is also worshipable by all demigods and is the supreme director of all directors. Therefore, He is transcendental to all kinds of material leaders and controllers and is worshipable by all. There is no one greater than Him and is the supreme cause of all causes. He does not possess a bodily form like that of an ordinary living entity. There is no difference between His body and His soul. He is absolute. All His senses are transcendental. Any one of His senses can perform the action of any other sense. Therefore, no one is greater than Him or equal to Him. His potencies are multifarious, and thus His deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. Since everything is in full opulence in the personality of Godhead and is existing in full truth, there is no duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead to perform. One who must receive the results of work has some designated duty, but one who has nothing to achieve within the three planetary systems certainly has no duty. And yet, Lord Krishna is engaged on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the leaders of the Kshatriyas, because the Kshatriyas are duty bound to give protection to the distressed. Although he is above all the regulations of the revealed scriptures, he does not do anything that violates the revealed scriptures. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very important chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and immediately after Krishna explained the science of soul, he started speaking about karma yoga. So this sequence is also very important, and we hear from Srila Prabhupada that yoga means to get connected to Krishna or to unite with Krishna, or it's not some physical exercise, right? So similarly, karma is also for that, to connect with Krishna. So this is very good that Krishna is inspiring that all you are doing can, if it is done for my pleasure, for my satisfaction, it becomes karma yoga. So, like we want to eat. So if we cook for Krishna, offer to Krishna and eat, it becomes, that karma of cooking becomes bhakti yoga. So all activities can be similarly connected to Krishna, and we get the advantage of converting our karma into devotional service. So it's a very important lesson where Krishna is explaining how it is not important to remain attached to anything in this material world. So he himself is telling that I have nothing to gain here, I am not doing anything to get anything. So if Krishna, who is the proprietor, who is the enjoyer, he is saying this, then who are we? Like if I am living in my house, and if I am saying that I have nothing to enjoy here, then if somebody comes from outside, then what he has to enjoy there? He should be also following what I am saying. Or it's my house. So if this creation is Krishna's creation, Krishna is the proprietor, he is the enjoyer, and he is telling that nothing for me, then what is there for us then? Who are just insignificant part and parcel of the Lord. As he already explained in the previous chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that we are a spirit soul. So, and then Prabhupada has given the wonderful commentary here, these two verses, which shows how Krishna is the controller. Beautiful description is given that everything is controlled by Krishna. Many verses Prabhupada has spoken, and many lectures he has given on this point, that even our blinking of the eyes, movement of the hand, everything, Krishna is very lovingly controlling. Not like he wants to control, but out of love he is doing it, so that we don't feel that we are independent of Krishna. Just to make us understand that. And simultaneously gives us free will also. So, the verse is explaining, the two verses which are given in the purport, that he is the controller of all controllers and he is the greatest of all diverse planetary leaders. Everyone is under his control. And we often feel still that we are the controller. That is our mental concoction, that we keep thinking that we are controller, we can make a better world out of what was given by Krishna, and we keep trying to make this world a better place. Because somewhere we think that we are controller, and that is why we are here, to enjoy. When we had this desire to be an enjoyer, independent of Krishna, we were put in this material world. So till the time we give up this desire to enjoy, we cannot get out of this material world also. So Krishna is saying that where I have nothing I am in want of nothing, and nor have I a need to obtain anything. So, because we are his servant as a constitutional position, we are servant of Krishna, right? That is our constitutional position, that we are eternal servants of Krishna. Till the time we realize this point, we cannot get out of this material world. So, our master is saying that I don't need anything. He is saying that I don't need anything. I am in need of nothing. Then whom are we working for? Prabhupada says we are working like an ass. He speaks like that we are struggling and working like an ass. For what? For whom? For entangling us. For making our life more and more miserable. We are making full effort to forget Krishna. That is what we are trying to do. Otherwise, we can just peacefully chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, nobody is supreme, nobody can control anything. Like, we make a plan to go somewhere, it might rain heavily tomorrow. What will we do then? Like we were hearing yesterday in Rath Yatra that once we planned a Rath Yatra and it started raining heavily for hours and hours and hours. So, we cannot plan or control any situation. But we are conditioned to think in this material world that we can control everything. This is how the things are moving. So, we try to control rainwater by rainwater harvesting. But since the time the rainwater harvesting started, if somebody can do a research, the conclusion will come that the water on the planet, usable water, is reduced. So it will never make the situation better. It is just a paradigm created that whatever we do can improve the situation. Only by following Krishna's system we can improve the situation. So, but there is no understanding of this point now, absolutely no understanding. Then Prabhupada writes, this verse says, there is no one greater than him and he is the supreme cause of all causes. So, there is no one greater than him. So in one class Prabhupada was saying, it is not only greater, nobody is greater, he is greater than the greatest and he is smaller than the smallest. So, we can make an aeroplane which is big, but can we make an aeroplane which is as small as a fly? Krishna has done that. There are flies which can fly, n number of flies flying here and there, the birds flying. This is small. So, that is the greatness of Krishna, that he can be greater than the greatest, he can be smaller than the smallest. Then the next verse of the purport says that he does not possess a bodily form like an ordinary living being. So his body and soul is non-different. There is no difference between it. And any of his senses can do any work. And the most important point says that his deeds are automatically performed as a natural sequence. This we have to understand that how the whole creation is working. Who is the eldest person here? Maybe we can assume somebody. Maybe me, but let us take somebody else. Not that to be old is bad, but who has more experience, I mean. Who is the most experienced person here? Let us take it like that. Because to hear that I am old doesn't sound good on the ears. Who is the most experienced person here? You? Why not you? You are not experienced? Okay. Anyways, so have we ever seen that the sun has not risen any day in our life? Not possible, right? It is so naturally happening, day by day, year after year, for lifetime, millennium, since time immemorial. So, whatever Krishna is arranged for us is a natural sequence and it happens automatically. Have you ever experienced that there is no air? Not possible. So it's a natural sequence arranged and it keeps happening repeatedly. The seasons keeps changing repeatedly. With the seasons, different variety of food keeps coming repeatedly. So everything is so natural, automatically happening, that we start thinking that we are doing it all now. So they are trying to arrange rain, they are trying to grow food, they are trying to control the rivers by making dams, because we came into understanding that everything is just happening on its own. So we can also do it. So this natural sequence, this verse, Swabhavik Gnana Bala Kriyacha Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. So there are potencies of the Lord which are making things happen. Not that he has to be personally present to be doing everything, but his energies are working and maintaining his entire creation so perfectly well that every species of life is maintained. Because we, in all our 5-year planning, 50-year planning, whatever different countries of the world are doing, nobody plans for species other than humans, right? We just plan for humans. Then who is planning for the other species? How are they surviving? So somebody is doing for them. So in other words, by our doership we think that we are doing, but actual doer is Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada gave a class on this verse specifically. So we would like to read that. This was given in New York in 1966, 30th May 1966. Same verse. Name pārthāsti kartavyam triṣu lokeṣu kiñcana nānavāptam avāptavyam varte karmaṇi. Now see, Arjuna, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have nothing to do in this world for gaining something. What Krishna has to gain? He is full of 6 opulences. Everyone does something with the purpose of some gain. So we do something when we are in need of something, or we want to enjoy something that stimulates us to do some activity. Otherwise I would, but what Krishna has to do for? He has everything. So everyone does something with the purpose of some gain. Without gain, nobody works, either spiritual gain or material gain. Somebody works for material gain and somebody works for spiritual gain. There must be some gain. But Lord Krishna, He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means He is full with opulence, all opulences. Now what are the things we generally aspire after? Wealth, accumulate wealth, millions and millions of rupees we want. Somebody wants to be a strong man, somebody wants to be a beautiful man, a learned man, a famous man. This is the things we are striving for, we are aspiring for. These are 6 opulences. Aishvarasya, samagrasya, viryasya, yashashriyah. This is from Vishnu Purana. There are 6 kinds of opulences, means wealth, strength, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. Renunciation is also considered as opulence. Somebody has got immense money, but at once he renounces everything and becomes a mendicant. For some cause, of course. There are many instances in political field. Somebody for political emancipation, he gives up everything, all homely comforts, everything renounces and becomes a very famous man in the political field. We know now there are many like that today. Similarly, there are men in the spiritual field also. They renounces everything for achievement of spiritual perfection. So renunciation is also one of the opulences. So wealth, strength, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. So these things are opulences. Now Lord Krishna, He says that I have nothing to gain these opulences. But because the definition of God is one who has got in full all these opulences, He is God. The definition of God is like that in the Vedic literature. Everything has got a definition. So the definition of God is Aishvarasya Samagrasya. One who possesses the 6 opulences, he is God. So Sri Krishna proved. When Lord Krishna was present among ourselves, from the history we can see, we have to believe the history. Then He was in full in everything. So far as a householder, when Lord Krishna displayed His capacity as a householder, you will be surprised. Perhaps most of you know that He married 16,108 wives. How a person can marry 16,108 wives? An ordinary person like us or a little more strong person, that is not possible. But when the word omnipotence is applied, God is called omnipotent. So for Him nothing is impossible. So if we have to believe the history, then Lord Krishna married 16,108 wives and He built 16,108 palaces. Well decorated, fully equipped, all marble palaces. And there was no need of light. The palaces were so nicely decorated with jewels that the light focused by the jewels that will illuminate the house. He was present in every house simultaneously. 16,000 wives and 16,000 houses. So that is called opulences. So Lord Krishna was full. Now when Lord Krishna was present on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, He was very old man. He was very old man, although you see his picture just like a young man of 20 years old. But you have seen, some of you must have seen the picture of Krishna on battlefield. Arjuna is sitting on the chariot and Krishna is the chariot driver. Arjuna and Krishna was of the same age, but Arjuna looks older, Krishna looks younger. And Krishna at that time had great-grandchildren. His grandchildren and his great-grandchildren was present at that time, and the whole family extended to about 10 millions. So this may be astonishing, but for God is nothing astonishing. It is a fact that everyone is son of God. Now there is a verse from Bhagavad Gita 14.4. Sarvayonishu kaunteya sambhavanti murtayo yaha. You will find in Bhagavad Gita that in every species of life, in whatever form you may see them, I am the father of them. And now He is the father of all living beings. Just calculate how many living beings there are throughout the whole universe or in the creation. In comparison of that, if we displayed that He had only 10 millions of sons and grandsons, that was nothing more. Krishna was equipped in that way. So this is, Prabhupada is speaking about the opulence of Krishna, the unlimitedness of Krishna in each and every aspect. So he says that, Partha, my dear Arjuna, I have nothing to gain because he has everything in unlimited. Don't think that I am here in the battlefield to assist you just for some remuneration or some gain. Because people speak about Krishna that he was political and he was trying to make fight and he made so many people die. But what he has to gain? And why would like anybody to die when everybody is just part and parcel of Krishna? They are all his sons, grandsons. So anybody who doesn't understand Bhagavad Gita will only speak such wrong interpretation of this battlefield of Kurukshetra. So here Krishna is clearly telling that I was not in need of any remuneration because I can have anything and everything at my will only. Therefore I have no fixed duty. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. We have got everything to do. Suppose we want spiritual perfection, so we have to do something, we have to perform something. We have to act practically, we have to go accept penance, we have to accept. Just like we are trying to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the idea is that I may be elevated to perfect position. So anything, if we desire, we have to do something. But the definition of Brahman and God is that he has nothing to do. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He has nothing to do. Still he is God. Not that one becomes God by doing something. Nowadays it has been practiced to say that I have meditated so many years, I have undergone so many penance, then I have become now God. So Prabhupada says this is too much in India, that people claim to be God, that I can become God by doing this, I can become God by doing that. And one morning he wakes up on the railway station and he claims that he is God. So all these things happen here in India. The God is not manufactured in that way. Krishna, when he was in the lap of his mother, he was God at that time also. Not that he had to grow up and undergo some penance and austerity and vows and go to the jungle or Himalaya or accept some very great spiritual master and so on. Then he became God. As it has been now the practice that anyone is little advanced in spiritual life and if he can display some wonders, he at once becomes God. So God is not so cheap thing. Yeah, so this is very important point that many try to become God, and Prabhupada said if anybody claims that I am God God, then he is DOG dog. So nobody can become God just by showing some small mystical thing. Oh, I can cross the river, walking on the water. Prabhupada was never impressed with the such things. He said, okay, we can have a 2 paisa boat to cross the river. Why should we spend whole lifetime to get such potency, which is just 2 paisa cheap? So, there is one other story now. Durvasa Muni, he was a great yogi. The yogis can display many wonders. In my childhood, I had gone one tutor. He was telling about his spiritual master. He was a yogi. He said that when he visited his spiritual master, who was a yogi, his spiritual master asked him, "What do you want to eat?" And because my teacher knew that his spiritual master was a great yogi, he wanted to have a taste of pomegranate of Kabul. In India, pomegranate of Kabul, Afghanistan, is very famous. So his spiritual master said, yes, you will find it in this room, you can see it. So he saw that just it has been taken from the tree of pomegranate and the juice was falling down. You see? So these wonders can be played by a yogi. There are many yogis still living. They can manufacture gold. The process is that they can eat, what is called para. What is the English para? The liquid metal, mercury. Yes, they eat mercury. They eat mercury and after the next morning they pass urine, and in that urine they put some copper coins, just like you have got sands, and when it is heated, the copper coins become gold. And it is a chemical theoretical truth that the molecules of gold are almost similar. Only one molecule is different. So mercury can be turned into gold. That is a chemical fact. And we have got information from Vedic scriptures that formerly gunmetal mixed with mercury could be transformed into gold. So these are some chemical process, physical process which is being done by scientific advancement of knowledge. There are many yogis who can do so by yogic power, just by physical process. Now people are trying to travel in space. This is another thing happening now. But the yogis can travel in space very swiftly, more swifter than any Sputnik. Just like the other day I narrated, Durvasa Muni traveled all over the space in the universe, outside the universe. He came back within 1 year. So therefore Krishna's another name is Yogeshwara. There are many yogis and many yogic principles, but Krishna is the master of all yoga. So if ordinary yogis, they can display some wonders, so why not Krishna? He is the Yogeshwar. He is the Lord of all yogis. So by the performance of this yoga prakriya or the yogic mystic powers, one cannot become God. God is different from all of them. So Krishna was that God. Now here he says, which I was going to explain from Vedic scripture, na me pārthāsti kartavyam. I have nothing to do. He has nothing to do. Still he is so powerful. That is confirmed in Vedic scriptures. Na tasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. The nature of Brahman is that he has nothing to do. He has nothing to do. That is the difference between God and ourselves. We have to do everything to achieve a certain aim, but God has nothing to do. Na tasya karya karanam cha vidyate, na tat samas cha vyadikas cha darshyate. And nobody is found who is equal to him and or greater than him. Nobody is found. These are the definition in Vedic literature, that God has nothing to do, nothing is equal to him and nothing is greater than him. That means everyone is below him. Nobody can be equal with God. Even such great demigods like Shiva and Brahma, they are considered to be the highest demigod. Still in the scriptures it is said that nobody should place all these demigods, even Shiva and Brahma, on equal footing with Vishnu. Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Krishna. So Krishna has nothing to do. God, who is actually God, he has nothing to do. He has nothing to do. He is God from the very beginning. And he is all powerful with all opulences. That is the God. If we understand that many pastimes Krishna is performing, so he doesn't like to be proved that he is God. Because what is the need for him to prove? Like we somewhere try, oh, I am a big manager. But because we have to establish our importance in society. So we want, but Krishna doesn't want that. Krishna has no need to show that anything. So he is rather happy when the devotees are chastising him. Mother Yashoda was chastising him. That relationship, loving relationships, makes him more happy. That is what Krishna is looking for with the devotees. But he doesn't have to do anything to show that he is God. Because what does he gain by showing that? As he's saying, I have nothing to gain, I have nothing to do. Even if he proves that he is God, what is the point, There is no point for him to prove any such thing. Because whether any fool accepts him or not, still he is God. Even if I might say, oh, he is not God, then what does it mean for Krishna? It means nothing. Somebody might say, oh, he is not the Prime Minister of the country. But that doesn't mean anything. Right? One who is Prime Minister is Prime Minister. One who is God is God. We cannot change that position, whether we believe it or we don't believe it. So Krishna says, I have nothing to do. Triṣu, lokeṣu, kiñcana. Not only in this earth, but in the three world. Anywhere I can go, anywhere I can work, anywhere I can see. But still I have nothing to do. Nānavāptam, avāptavyam. It is not that I am deficient in my possession. We work because we find deficient ourselves. So when we are lacking something, we work. In any power, in any either spiritual power or material power, we have to work because we are deficient. So Krishna is not deficient, so that he has to fulfill the deficiency. No. Nānavāptam. Varta eva cha karmaṇi. Now he says that Arjuna, you see that still I have engaged myself in the worldly duties. Now this is important point. That's the last part of the verse. He's saying to Arjuna that I don't have to achieve anything, I don't have to do anything. But Arjuna, you see, still I have engaged myself in worldly duties. Why? Just to become the ideal man. Although he was not man, he was God, because he was playing the part of a man. Why he was taking part in the battlefield? He has nothing to gain out of it personally. But why he was taking part? Just for the right cause. So he wanted to establish that for the right cause there must be fighting. You cannot abolish violence from the world. This is the instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So this is, people think that we can abolish, we are preaching this non-violence, but it is not possible. A Kshatriya has to fight. This is the instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. If required, violence will be taken, and Krishna induced Arjuna to be violent. Arjuna wanted to be non-violent, but he wanted that you should fight. This fight is arranged by me. So, thinking of Krishna, as we said, karma, yoga, he has to connect with Krishna. He was connecting with the body so far, so he didn't want to fight. But when he connects with Krishna, he said, okay, I will fight now. These are the examples. Nothing is good or bad. Nothing is bad, nothing is good if it is not purposeful. That is the whole purpose of teaching Bhagavad Gita. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. Everything is good, everything is bad in the material world. But we have to see, just like the common phrase goes, the end justifies the means. So that is Krishna teaching here that he has nothing to gain. He is full in himself, but just to set example in the world, he was taking part in the fighting because he wanted to establish it that fighting for good cause should not be avoided. That was his mission. So, this is the point in this verse, that Krishna is full of six opulences and he has nothing to do for gaining anything or to prove anything. And in the previous verse it was said that what yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat evetarojana, that was yesterday. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So that is why Krishna has to do that. In the end he is telling to Arjuna that despite I have nothing to do, but still I am engaged in worldly activities because the society in general will follow. So Krishna is doing that worldly activities, and the most important activity he did was grazing the cows, right? No? What was Krishna doing before this Kurukshetra? He was grazing the cows in Vrindavan. That is why we call him, his dham is called Goloka. So we have to learn from Krishna what he was doing and try to do, make a nice lifestyle by serving the cows. We are in Vrindavan. If you don't serve the cows, gopis, who are gopis? Do you all know gopis? No? Have you heard about gopis? No? About Goloka Vrindavan? No? About cows? About milk? That is difficult to say no, because it's an attachment to the milk. Cows, no problem, but milk, yes. So that is our advancement of Krishna consciousness so far, that we don't know gopis, we are ready to say we don't know Golok Vrindavan, we are ready to say we don't know anything, but we know we can give up cows also. So that is the advancement in Krishna consciousness. Anyways, we can only pray that by the mercy of Prabhupada we can understand the real mission of human life and try to understand these deeper meanings of Bhagavad Gita and the purports Prabhupada has given, and try to do all our actions for pleasing Krishna and serve his beloved cows. Thank you all very much. Any comments? Questions? Today we were also reading the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. In that, in the Gita Mahatmya, there are 6-7 verses given in the introduction. But one verse in particular I would like to read for all of you because we have time. I don't want to waste your time, so you all came with an intention to give this 1 hour to Krishna. So we'll try to use that. This is from Gita, Gita Mahatmya, verse number 5. Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnu vaktrad vinishritam Gita gangodakam pitva punarjanmana vidyate. One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita comes from the mouth of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to emanate from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but from impartial study we can appreciate that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the water of Ganges. So Srila Prabhupada has given such a wonderful program that every day we are drinking this nectar of Bhagavad Gita. So just by hearing this, we can make our life perfect. Just by every day hearing this, nothing else has to be done. The Gita Mahatmya, verse number 4 says, Gita sugita kartavya kimanye shastra vistare ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padmat vinishrita. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literature. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literature, and especially because it is spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much.